Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers. This is your host Ram, welcoming you to the Saturday edition of Cricket Happenings this weekend. It's the 5th of May, 7th of May 2022. Well, it's the IPL 2022, which is slowly getting into the business end of things. And today we saw the Lucknow Super Giants. As you know, Gujarat Titans were the ones who were leading the show in the IPL. They have lost two back-to-back matches, but today it was the LSG, another new team just making its debut, as you know. The Lucknow Super Giants, led by none other than Captain KL Rahul, went on to win against the KKR, which definitely has put KKR in a very vulnerable position right now, because for them to now qualify for the playoffs is going to be next to impossible. As far as the other game was concerned, it was Punjab Kings who are taking on the Rajasthan Royals, but Punjab Kings definitely are not being very consistent. They have been winning in patches, and it was Rajasthan Royals who went on to a victory over the Punjab Kings today. So, so I'm going to talk about those two matches, but definitely I will be starting off with a brutal. I will give a brutal start to this cricket happenings today. As you know, in the English county cricket, in the LV Insurance County Championships, which is happening in England, Durham skipper and England skipper, the new appointed England skipper Ben Stokes, the mercurial all-rounder, who made a playing cricket after quite a long time, after missing last season. He has been through a real tough year, but now he comes here, and what a way for him to celebrate his captaincy as the his captaincy by slamming 161 runs for his side Durham against Worcestershire. And that was the one. That's the reason I'm going to start with this rather than the IPL. It was a match, the 18th match in the County Championship Division 2, Durham against Worcestershire, and Ben Stokes absolutely brutalized Worcestershire with a record-breaking century, in which he slammed 17 sixes. He first equaled the record that was in the English County Championship, which was jointly held by two people. One was Graham Napier, who was there, and there was also one more person who actually had like 15 sixes. I think Graham Napier was one, and if I'm not wrong, I'm trying to recollect the person's name. There were two players who actually had the record. I can definitely check it for you before I throw it to you here. As I said, it was a record-breaking century. He made 161 runs, and the spectators were absolutely left spellbound. George Baker, the under 19 left arm spinner, was absolutely rammed. The English spinner Jack Leach went for plenty as well. And I'm trying to look at the man who was the other man, the record actually, Andrew Simons. Andrew Simons was only 20 years of age when he actually got into that record for Gloucestershire, playing against Glamorgan in 1995. And the Essex all-rounder Graham Napier did it 16 years after what Andrew Simons did. So Graham Napier, as you know, in English circles, he was a wonderful attacking batsman who never played for any English T20 cricket, unfortunately. But they were the ones who were holding the joint record of 15 sixes. But Brent Stokes put everything to the dust here when he now becomes the record holder for the most number of sixes in an English County Championship match. And that was 17 sixes that he smoked, and his individual scored 161. So New Zealand are the ones who would be touring England, and they would be very, very wary of this, that Ben Stokes not only is the England captain, but he is in lightning form today. You can go and look at my tweet on Twitter on Ben Stokes when he hit those 17 sixes. What a marvelous cricketer he is, what a mercurial all-rounder he is. And that's what he showed it to the cricketing world. 17 sixes, Ben Stokes holding the record. in the English County Cricket Championships now. And now I dare say that I think it is going to take pretty long time for someone who can come and smash that Ben Stokes record of 17 sixes. Truly, truly a wonderful achievement, and that's the precise reason I wanted to kick off my cricket happening show with that particular piece. And now we branch off. We branch off for the match, two matches in the IPL. It's Punjab Kings and the match between Punjab Kings. The first match that was played was between I think it was Punjab Kings who were taking on the Rajasthan Royals. Today there was something different that happened at the Navi Mumbai, at the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai, where Punjab Kings decided to bat first. Now, that was a debatable decision, but Punjab Kings decided that they wanted to bat first. And if you look at the card there, they definitely did a good job of scoring 189 on that particular pitch. It was not easy going. Trent Bolt initially looked good, but then was taken for runs. But the good thing for Punjab Kings was the fact that Johnny Barristow, who opened the innings to Shikhar Dhawan, has been not amongst much of the runs. As Shikhar Dhawan, we know he has been amongst the runs. He actually was dismissed for just 12 runs today. But Johnny Barristow was the one who really gave a sort of a real thrust to the Punjab Kings innings at the beginning of the innings by hitting 56 of 40 deliveries, which included 6 fours and 1 6. Bhanuka Rajapaksa clambered on to make 27 of 18, 2 fours and 2 sixes. Mayank Agarwal, 15 of 13. Mayank Agarwal, who probably would have opened, as now they have started slotting him at number 4. Probably there's a reason for that. But as you know, we have been seeing a lot of youngsters, lot of great young talent coming to the fore. And this bloke, the name Jitesh Sharma, he's not only a batsman, he's also the wicket keeper. His wicket keeping has been superb throughout the IPL. And Jitesh Sharma, what a knock from him. I mean, he was there till the end to take the Punjab Kings to a total, which was a commanding total in the end of 189. And Jitesh Sharma's contribution was an unbeaten 38 of just 18 deliveries, which included 2 sixes and 4 fours. And 1 6 was an absolute marvel. I mean, a low full toss, he dispatched it for a 6. And that is not easy. As you know, low full tosses which are dipping into you are the most difficult shots to hit. And Jitesh Sharma has done that. So that really says that Jitesh Sharma is someone who is having extreme talent, no doubt about it. That one stroke really, really summarizes everything. He played superbly. Liam Livingstone, 22, we had a sort of a byplay when Liam Livingstone decided that he would expose his leg stump, and he started standing with all his stumps exposed. That led Prasidh Krishna to have a word with the umpires to say, where should he bowl? And I can understand that because the tramlines are there, and then we saw Liam Livingstone taking guard by exposing his leg stump. It was a real battle out there in the center. The battle initially was won by Liam Livingstone, who slammed him for 4 and a 6. But Prasidh Krishna was the one who won the final battle when he got a ball, which was a Yorker-length delivery, and he got it between the gap of the bat and pad of Livingstone, and it went and crashed onto the stumps. So Liam Livingstone, 22 of 14, 1 4 and 2 sixes. Dhawan was not out on 5, and the Punjab Kings closed at the end of 20 overs at 189 for 5. Looking at the bowling, Trent Bolt, 4 overs, 1 maiden, none for 36. Prasidh Krishna, costly, 1 for 48. Kuldeep Singh could not keep his wits about him, 4 overs, 1 for 42 today. Ashwin, 1 for 32, but Yuzvendra Chahal was the only man who really did a wonderful job, even though the big hitting was going on. Yuzvendra Chahal was the only one who could keep a lid on them and not allow the Punjab Kings to a total of 200 runs. And that was thanks in the main to none other than this leggy Yuzvendra Chahal, who has been a different bowler altogether in this IPL. 4 overs, no maiden, 3 for 28. Now, Rajasthan Royals were given a target of 190 runs to get in 20 overs. Let's listen to what happened there. Rajasthan Royals, what a start for them. I mean, the bowlers were absolutely rammed. At one end, it was Yashasvi Jaiswal, the youngster, putting the ball into the boundaries at a very consistent rate. And then we saw some in between sixes hit by Yashasvi Jaiswal, but also Josh Butler was using his bat as if he was using a club. And he clubbed 30 runs of just 16 deliveries, which included 5 fours and 1 6, and he treated Kagiso Rabada with utter disdain. But in the final delivery, Rabada won that battle against Josh Butler, and he picked up his wicket as Josh Butler went one too many. He had already taken 20 runs. There was no need for that, but Josh Butler, he's such a player who plays his cricket in such a manner, and he was a goner. Sanju Samson, what to say about Sanju Samson? Every time you look at him, he plays his strokes, he plays it with gay abandon, he makes batting look pretty easy. He's very casual in his stroke making, hitting 4 boundaries. And the boundaries were just hit like the ball was just carried to the boundary, and one of these extra cover drives that he did absolutely stood out. And Sanju Samson, the commentators have been telling that he's a sort of a great talent for India, but the problem happens to be that Sanju Samson does not get to play a long innings. And here he was. This is the way he plays. He likes to play his strokes, and he was a goner to the bowling of Rishi Dhawan after making a sweet 23 of 12 deliveries, 4 fours. Jaiswal carried on, and he was the man of the match as well. What an innings from Yashasvi Jaiswal. He was the one who really gave the innings the real thrust that was needed. 68 was slammed of 41 deliveries, 9 4s and 2 6s. Devdutt Padukal, he made 31 along with Shimron Hetmyer at the other end, but there was a feeling that Devdutt Padukal was a bit slow. But nevertheless, it didn't matter in the end as Rajasthan Royals won the match. He made 31 of 32, 3 4s. Arshdeep Singh, who was the best bowler, no doubt about it. Shimron Hetmyer, well, I think he can do no wrong in this IPL, and I'm very happy to see that this powerful young player, Shimron Hetmyer, extremely talented, scored an unbeaten 31 of 16, which included 3 4s and 2 6s to take the Rajasthan Royals to victory. Rayan Parag did not even face a delivery, a one ball probably, and the victory came in the 19.4 overs. Bowling, Sandeep Sharma, 4 overs, none for 41. Rabada was taken to the cleaners today, 1 for 50 his returns. Arshdeep Singh, he has been the talk of the IPL as far as death bowling is concerned. The commentators have been raving about this wonderful left-arm bowler, Arshdeep Singh, as you can probably put a coin in the death overs and say, Arshdeep Singh, you bowl here, he will bowl. And what one liked about Arshdeep Singh was bowling those nice, which has become very common, to not allow the batsman to any free room of bowling wide Yorkers, bowling wide outside the York stump, bowling on the sixth stump, especially trying to bowl it in between the tram lines, as we call it. 4 overs, 2 for 29, Arshdeep Singh. Rishi Dhawan, 1 for 25. Rahul Chahar was surprising to see, but he was the only option left for Mayank Agarwal to thrust in, but Rahul Chahar was hit very nicely by Shimron Hetmyer, and that was the end. Rahul Chahar was costly. 3.4 overs, none for 39. Livingston trundled a trundle of one trundle, 1 over of a trundle, one could call, 1 over, none for 6 was his returns. Now, we move on to the next game. As I said, the Punjab Kings have not been consistent and has resulted in Rajasthan Royals fortifying their point situation in the IPL, and they could be one of the contenders for the playoffs here. Rajasthan Royals. The next match, Lucknow Super Giants were taking on the Kolkata Knight Riders. All the pressure was on Kolkata Knight Riders because they had to. They probably was like a must-win match for them. They had to win this particular game to really make a fist of it, to probably stay in the race for the playoffs. But with this defeat that they had at the hands of the Lucknow Super Giants, who won the match by a handsome margin in the end of 75 runs, I think life would be pretty difficult for the Kolkata Knight Riders in this IPL. Now, Let's have a look at the match proceedings here between LSG and KKR. Lucknow Super Giants were the ones who batted first. Now KKR was the team which won the toss, and they decided to field first. Lucknow Super Giants did not have a good start. In fact, with the first ball itself, there was an absolutely silly run out that happened. KL Rahul, the captain, was run out, and that was the big fish, according to me, because Kohli mistimed his drive, and Iyer wanted the run. He sprint forwarded, and before Rahul could actually reach his crease, that was a wonderful pickup by the opposite number, as we call them, the Shreyas Iyer, the captain of KKR, swooping onto the ball and throwing down the stumps at the bowler's end to find KL Rahul's shot. And that was a very, very bad start for the Lucknow Super Giants, as KL Rahul was gone, run out without even doubling the scorers. So that was not a good start. And now Quinton de Kock was joined in by Deepak Hooda, but probably Lucknow Super Giants had made it a point that they are not the ones who are going to brood over the wicket of KL Rahul, and they decided to take the bowlers on, especially Shivam Mavi, who was thrashed for a lot of runs. At the other end, Tim Southee also went for run, but Shivam Mavi was the one on whom there was intense pressure, as Quinton de Kock and Deepak Hooda started hitting boundaries on absolute will. Deepak Hooda was looking very good. I thought he was looking in some great form today with his ball striking, as and the partnership went on. They negated the dismissal of KL Rahul by putting on 73 runs, and that was wonderful stuff, I thought, which really setting the platform for a big score which was coming up. Quinton de Kock's contribution being 50 of 29 deliveries, which included 4 fours and 3 sixes. At the other end was Deepak Hooda, cracked 41 of 27, 4 fours and 2 sixes. And there were some contributions coming in from Krunal Pandya, who made 25 of 27, 2 fours in that. Ayush Badani made a small contribution of 15 of unbeaten 15 of 18, no boundaries. He probably was just playing around the batsman because he was allowing all the other batsmen to score. Marcus Stoinis made 28 good runs. He hit 3 sixes on the trot, 28 of 14, 1 4, 3 sixes. Jason Holder, 13 of 4 deliveries, which included 2 sixes. And that was the score for the LSG. 176 for 7 was the final tally. Looking at the bowling, Shivam Mavi went for plenty. In the 19th over, he went for 30 runs. That was one too many, one could call. And that was the eventual, it was not the eventual difference, but definitely Shivam Mavi is someone who has to really learn a lot. He went for plenty. Stoin is slamming him right, left, and center. Tim Southee went for 28. Sunil Narine, he bowled magnificently. It was good to see Sunil Narine getting that mojo back. 4 overs, 1 for 20. Anukul Roy, the left arm, 3 runs for 27. Harshit Rana, 2 overs, none for 27. Even though if you look at his bowling, you will feel that he was extremely costly, no doubt. But he had the privilege of bowling the fastest delivery of the match, which was at 145 clicks. Andre Russell did a very good job at the center. 3 overs, no made, 222, chipped in with some few useful wickets. Now, Kolkata Knight Riders were given a target of 177 runs to win from their 20 overs, and the start was not good. Well, I have to say, this bloke, Mohsin Khan, this man has impressed one and all in this, because what one sees from Mohsin Khan, the left-arm pace bowler, is absolutely on the money. Look at his bowling analysis. 3 overs, 1 maiden, 6 runs and 1 wicket. He made life so tough for the Kolkata Knight Riders in the chase that for the first 9 deliveries, he bowled 6 deliveries, but the first 9 deliveries, the Kolkata Knight Riders could not even get off the mark. And that was brilliant bowling, I thought, from Mohsin Khan. And there was 1 over, which was an absolutely sort of a real testing over to Baba Indrajit and Aaron Finch, which tested. I thought there was only 2 ways the ball was going. One was Mohsin Khan was delivering, and the ball was either going into the going and sitting into the wicketkeeper's gloves. He beat the batsman. He bowled, and in that same over, he showed us a lot of variety. One was an out swinger, the other one was an in swinger, and then finally the final delivery he struck. But Dhoni caught him. He bowled a bouncer at Baba Indrajit, surprised him in the final delivery, and Baba Indrajit definitely frustrated as not able to get off the blocks here, went for the pull shot, and the bouncer was nicely bowled. It was bowled onto the body of the batsman, and the skyer was taken by Badani. So he was gone for naught. So I would say got out of his misery after Mohsin Khan throttled them, absolutely throttled them. And that was some splendid bowling. I thought, now I'm going to really skim through it here. Aaron Finch was out for 14 to the bowling order. One thing I would like to tell you here, there's only one thing that I can talk about this particular match. Mohsin Khan was he was terrific with the ball. 3 overs, 1 for 6. Look at all the bowlers. I mean, Yusmanta Chamira, 3 overs, 1 for 14, a picture of economy. Avesh Khan picked up the wickets, 3 overs, 1 made 19 runs and 3 wickets. Jason Holder, 2.3 overs, 331 was a bit costly. Ravi Bishnoi, 1 for 30. And I thought it was very, basically the bowling was the one which did the trick for LSG after their batsmen had given them a good platform there. But the bowlers definitely did a splendid job. Shreyas Iyer tried to back himself, tried to back away, and Chamira bowled a bouncer, and Shreyas Iyer was a goner. That was a big wicket. Nitish Rana, the form man, was bowled by Avish Khan for 2. Rinku Singh left for 6. Andre Russell came in, and he knew only one way to play, and that was to hit the ball all across the park with some brutal power, which included 45 of 19. 3 fours and 5 monstrous sixes, but Avesh Khan won the battle against Andre Russell. Sunil Narine briefly there with 22, but when Sunil Narine was also gone, there was absolutely no hope for the KKR, and the KKR innings wound up for 101. As I said, it was all about some very, very good bowling from the LSG bowlers. And this has been the story of LSG's success in this. Avesh Khan was declared man of the match. And this has been the real success story of the LSG in this IPL. They have a well-rounded batting and a bowling combination, which really makes life difficult for the opposition. Now, the 2 matches that are coming up today, that is, again, I'm looking out for a sort of a I would say, a spicy contest coming up between one of the greatest Indian batsmen and captain Virat Kohli, who has just hit some good form here. At the other end, we are all talking about the talk of the IPL 2022, the young bloke from Jammu and Kashmir, 21 years old, Umran Malik, who has been bowling at 150 clicks on a consistent rate, and lately he bowled the fastest ball in IPL history of 157 kilometers per hour. And this man's battle against Virat Kohli is awaited tomorrow when Sunrisers Hyderabad take on the Royal Challengers Bangalore. And then we have one more match which is coming up. Chennai Super Kings have probably they have an iota of a chance. One can't really say they are still at the bottom rung of the table, along with Mumbai Indians, who are languishing, even though with those 2 victories. But Chennai Super Kings, whether they have a battle with Delhi Capitals. So Delhi Capitals definitely, I think they are looking much better than Chennai Super Kings. So they would probably like to have a victory. I'm going to look at the point standings here. So LSG has gone on the top of the table now with 16. They are level with GT, which are tied at 16. So even the run rate has gone up for the LSG. So that's good news. RR have 14 points, RCB 12. So they are in the race for the playoffs for sure. So Delhi Capitals are definitely in the race for the playoffs as well, if they could win against the Chennai Super Kings. If Chennai Super Kings win against the Delhi Capitals, life might become a bit difficult for the Delhi Capitals. Well, dear fans and subscribers, it was an exciting cricket happening show that I shared with you today. Hope you all loved the broadcast, and looking forward to your company once more tomorrow. And as I said, I'm looking out for a spicy contest when the ball is in the hands of young Umran Malik. Virat Kohli will be facing him. Well, that has not happened. Can it happen tomorrow? I wish it happens. I would love to see this young bloke unleashed against one of the greatest Indian batsmen. And that would be a sort of a as you call, a sort of a real icing on the cake, as we will call it. Well, dear fans, subscribers, that brings an end to this cricket happenings. And as I said, I look forward to your company tomorrow. Until then, it's good night from here. Thank you.